Greetings and salutations, everybody. DanTheWolfman here. Today I want to talk about how to spot a fake martial arts expert on YouTube. Let's first define it, shall we? Expert. Definition of expert by Merriam-Webster Dictionary. One with a special skill or knowledge representing mastery of a particular subject. Expert definition, a person who has special skill or knowledge in some particular field. Specialist, authority. Let's look at Wikipedia. An expert is somebody who has a broad and deep competence in terms of knowledge, skill, and experience through practice and education in a particular field. So, you should pay attention to that when judging someone. Unfortunately, a lot of these young kids and teenagers that are marketed to just to make money don't have any idea how to spot the fake YouTube expert. Expertise usually takes, they say, 10,000 hours. I think in martial arts, it's more like 20 to 25,000 hours of training. Commonly, people higher education would think that someone that to be a real expert isn't 10 years of dedicated study and training, but rather 20 years. So if somebody shows up on YouTube out of nowhere that does not have an amateur fight record, does not have a professional fight record, does not have an Olympic gold medal, they might be a fake expert. If they haven't trained at least 20 years, they're a fake expert. If they're only good in one range of martial arts or fighting, they're a fake expert. Okay? Personally, I have trained for, it's now about to be 35 years of martial arts. That's why I'm looking like Flavor Flav. So guys, there's some people on YouTube that act like they're an authority, that judge systems, styles, other people on YouTube, fighters, but they are no authority. They act as if they are authority, but they are none. They're not an expert, as we have defined, in any of those three major categories, really. If they're only good at one particular thing, and they're not even, the super expert at that, Olympian judoka, Olympian Tae Kwon Do guy or something, if they're not an expert in that, how dare they judge MMA, self-defense, all these styles when they think judo doesn't have any submissions? Some of these people come off as experts and say judo doesn't have any submissions. Some of these people are not even amateur level kickboxers. They're below that. And they're white belts in jiu-jitsu. And they think they're an expert and can tell you what works or doesn't, steal other people's techniques, reteach them, and not give credit. That, my friends, is a fake expert. Now, I wish I had a UFC belt around my waist to show you. I do not. However, I have trained about to be 35 years if my body will continue to allow me to keep training. 20 to 22 of those years really were against the world's top MMA fighters around the world, with the top jiu-jitsu instructors, top MMA fight teams, doing the hard sparring, not this tip-tat touchy stuff to look good on YouTube or even go with a name when they are not throwing heat back. That does not make an expert. When someone says, learn a tricky Tae Kwon Do leg kick, land leg kicks with tricky Tae Kwon Do, and they go, bang, bang, oh, isn't that cool? A bang, bang, my body's totally on the center line. A bang, bang. So the second time I would ever do that against a real fighter, he would go, bam, bam, and knock you the F out. This is not a leg kick. Staying spinal frontal this way is not a leg kick, because this can commonly be countered with the right cross. Would be a right cross, left hand, 2-3-2, whatever. That's very common. And so the second time you tried that on anyone decent, if you would know how bad that is to teach people. And that's when I let you play your games, but then when you step up and you teach people bullshit, complete and utter bullshit, that's when it would get someone hurt. When you never do real sparring, when you've never had a fight, and you think that that shit would work, That's bullshit. Okay, so that is a fake expert. When you don't know judo has submissions, that is a fake expert. Sorry, I'm old school and I will call stuff out. And it really pisses me off when people act like that. Now, some YouTubers are just kung fu guys. To some people like you, might look pretty good. To someone like me, I say, well, your stance is all fucked up. Your back foot is 90 degrees. You have no mobility. And if someone ever gave you pressure with the hands, you would crumble. You're going to crumble after a minute when you get tired. You're going to crumble because you have no structure. And your fancy kicks hitting air don't mean anything. But some of those guys don't try to come off as an authority. Okay? They may a little bit to get YouTube subscribers and views, but they don't really come off arrogant as an authority, like they know it all. They don't say they're the best or whatever, and they're mostly fun, good guys. If you want to subscribe to that and go, oh, it's just cool to look at or see someone sparring because I suck too and I'm new or whatever, that's fine. But that's not really an authority when they don't know how to box. They don't know how to throw 3 punches and a hard low kick Dutch style. They don't know how to put combinations together. They don't know how to fight with pressure. Half the stuff they do, they're completely off balance. That they do risky stuff that isn't very well and they're off balance. That is not really an expert. But that is far better than the people that pretend to be an authority when they're only good at dirty boxing, but they're troll height and anyone in real sparring would knee them in the friggin' chin. That they don't really have a good Thai clinch game, back pivot game, off balancing, kazushi. They don't even understand sensitivity, arimi, and all of that. They don't understand the real concepts and they don't have the skill. So they don't know about things. They don't have the skill. That is not an expert. That is a fake expert. That's how you spot a fake expert. When they don't have any black belts, they're a white belt, or they only have black belt in Kempo, and they don't have boxing, they don't have takedowns, they don't have any grappling, and they're going to tell you what works in a fight or self-defense. That is not an expert. How many self-defense situations have you been in? How many fights have you been in? Have you been in the thousands of altercations like I have, bouncing? Have you been in 16, 17, 18, and more? I forget them all. Real violent, more actually, even in the last few months. Situations, fighting multiple opponents, fighting weapons, having to pull guns, having to display guns against sticks, people, guns in your face, etc. You are not an expert, my friend. I'm an expert and I'm not the top guy. Definitely not the best fighter or the best jiu-jitsu guy or the best this or the that. But I am an expert after 34 years. I am an expert when I have 4 black belts, plus a brown belt in Aikido. Plus, you could consider me a subject matter expert on catch wrestling, 52 blocks, maybe even Sistema. That I get a lot of hate because I do some of the fancy little bit. What actually works from Wing Chun? What actually works from J.K.D.? What actually works from Aikido? What actually works from Sistema? So a lot of like the real fighters that are like, I'm just a boxing wrestler guy, they never got it, but I was teaching what actually works, absorbing what is useful. Not that these mean a whole lot. Let's see if I can get them off. I'm going to strangle myself. Let's see what we got here. I started martial arts in 1986. Oh, here's a Tae Kwon Do medal. Silver medal. Oh, here's a Tae Kwon Do bronze medal, looks like. Let's see what else we got. Here's a Kuksu Won Championship medal. I think that was gold. That looks like gold. Oh, here's a gold medal in Tae Kwon Do. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. I was really mixing martial arts back in 94. 95, I did judo and aikido. By 97, I was already trained with Dan Severn in jiu-jitsu and catch wrestling and Muay Thai and JKD. Grappling Classic, silver medal, 2003. What's this? Is that a gold medal in gi jiu-jitsu from Saulo Ribeiro, who I trained with for a year? Yeah, in a tournament, I won 2 matches gi jiu-jitsu. I did not get submissions because I couldn't. I always took them down and got into 3/4 mount. Had trouble passing the quarter guard, but complete domination. 2 matches, gold medal. And like most of my no-gi matches, I did win by submission. What do we got here? Oh, we already did this one. Silver medal. And I reffed pro fighters matches. This is why I got these out the other day. Total Combat Challenge, the lost fight I put up the other day. Pro NHB MMA in 2000 in Chicago. Key lock, top wrist lock, minute 35 seconds. Oh, we got more. What do we got here? It doesn't mean much, but it means that I've been doing things a very long time. As you can see in my videos, rolling with Dan Severn back in 2000, and things like that. Some old footage I got in a couple videos. Cheeto Ortiz Invitational, that's when I didn't know I was doing a tournament. I was running media mat to mat, and then I armbarred 310-pound pro fighter, scary Jerry Verbunovic. And then with 1 minute, literally 1 minute rest, with some interesting reffing from Paul Herrera, obviously slanted towards their team punishment guy when I was just going out there for a week type of trial. I went against Jason Mayhem Miller, who, you know, gets in a lot of trouble, but he was pretty famous and a very good fighter, submitted Sakuraba, and then I lost on points to Jason Mayhem Miller, 9-2. I was bad at defending the single leg when I was too much in a staggered stance, and I was thinking, I had my hands up like I was thinking MMA. I wasn't thinking pure grappling, but he was a very skilled guy, obviously. Oh, one more. Let's see what this is. If I can remember. All right. Best of the West. Best of the West. Probably my best submission grappling victory. I had a few that day, but that was, and I got screwed by a ref very bad in one match. I got a win over, I was just a new purple. I got a win over a heavyweight Dean Lister. So I had cut weight to under 208. Most of them were under 200 to 205. And then I still went in the heavyweight or the absolute divisions in no-gi. Most of them wins by submission. One win by 9-0, I remember. In this, I beat a heavyweight who was about 250. A heavyweight Dean Lister brown belt. So that's my biggest win. That's not some super famous black belt or anything. But I also had, so I went 3-3 in MMA, 3 first-round submissions. The 3 guys I lost to were the top fighters in the world with the most fights, either then or now. There's still 3 of the most experienced fighters in the world. 2 fought for the UFC light heavyweight title, Jeremy Horn and Yuki Kondo. Dennis Reed was 8-8 when I fought him, most experienced guy in the entire America when I fought him, pro, on 2 weeks' notice. There wasn't amateur then. There wasn't amateur MMA. It was called No Holds Barred, NHB back then. 2-time NCAA champ wrestler. And my fights and my victories, my victories were from 8 months of jiu-jitsu training to 3.5 months of jiu-jitsu training, were my 3 wins in early MMA, NHB by submission. So training with teams like MFS, banging hard, not the touch sparring you see these YouTubers doing. Where if you ever did real sparring, you would know that double kicky trick is a stupid thing to teach people because you'll get hit right down the pipe. Go ahead, watch the video, freeze frame it every time. Did his shoulders ever protect? Did his hands ever protect? This is a proper leg kick. This is a proper leg kick. This is a proper leg kick. This is a proper leg kick with your heel pointed 122 degrees. Yes, exactly, 122 degrees. That's a proper low kick. This or this is not. And if you did any real sparring, you would know that. And that's when it's disingenuous. You are not an expert. Stop speaking with authority when you don't even know judo has submissions. Stay in your lane. You want to teach some fancy kicks that you're not even like the world champion at? Stay in your lane. But don't act like you are the end-all be-all when it comes to judging martial arts you've never ever trained in. Unlike my video of ranking martial arts, 27 martial arts I ranked in. I've probably literally done like 22, 23 of them, and at least gone to watch a lot of capoeira in my life, and a lot of this and a lot of that in my life. Like I've at least gone and watched classes at different schools. So over 20 years, actual competition. These are the kind of things that make a martial arts expert. Training with multiple world champions. And not just the occasional, let's make a video and get you some publicity. I mean, being a part of the team. I mean, sparring till knockout. I mean, getting beaten like a gang beating. That 6'8", 300-pound heavyweight champion of the world when he was champion, Tim Sylvia, beating the hell out of me, knocking me down, and still going bang, bang, full power shots on my knees. Because they would usually, even good pros, would go packing, crying in the middle of the night. And I stuck it out for 14 months. Tito and Rampage sparring partner, Tank Abbott sparring partner, Lyoto Machida sparring partner. These are the kinds of things that make an expert. Am I the top expert? No. But I'm getting pretty sick. You know, you could say I have expertise in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 martial arts, combatives and catch wrestling, and pretty good at making Aikido work for real and Sistema work for real, besides the black belts that I have. That's kind of something that leads you to believe an expert. In actual competitions, like I showed you, that's something that leads people to believe you might be an expert. When you find your old Metallica Black DVD for Of Wolf and Man for walkout music when you need it, when you've lived in Japan for a year and a half, when you've gone to Thailand 3 times, when you've trained with 2 Lumpini Stadium champions, Sangtian Noi and Meiti Jidapek, Dragon Leg, when you've trained at all the top gyms in the world, and you have Strike Force 1, WSOF 4, which I sat next to Jeremy Horn at, by the way, UFC on Fox, the first one, as media, and you interviewed all the fighters. A lot of them you train with. Strike Force Grand Prix, you go to support the sport and make things happen. Ryzen in Japan, you guys should look at my Ryzen videos, especially if you're going to watch this New Year's. I have sparring one of them. I have interviews with a lot of them. Bellator, Chandler Alvarez 2. That's the kind of stuff that makes an expert. So, guys, it's fine to enjoy the haha guys. When the haha guys don't give credit, when they're teaching a technique badly, wall technique, which is obviously you saw in my combatives and street jiu-jitsu DVD you plugged on your channel, when you obviously saw the highlight of me doing the overhook figure 4 throat shove to get off the cage technique that I first taught to Shinzo Machida, and then guys started doing it after that, and Barboza did it twice to better wrestler Khabib, just like I had preached for years since I taught that. And my second MMA, catch wrestling and MMA DVD that I used to send out to some good fighters in the UFC that have fought for titles. When Francis Ngannou does my combatives head twist to get off the cage against much better wrestler Stipe. And those are the only times those guys got off the cage against, or the wall, against much better wrestlers. So when someone does something like that and doesn't give credit, that is not the martial arts way. That is not a master. A master goes like I do. I say Gene LaBelle taught me this. Dennis Haltman taught me that. I learned this catch your arm through guillotine that no one's commentating. Years before anyone was really doing it, I had videos teaching it. Rosamir Polaris taught me this at a seminar I did with him and Master Mario Bustamante. You give credit where credit is due. That's what makes an expert. Okay? There's supposed to be a certain amount of respect. And it shouldn't be just shelling out ranking systems and ha 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 just to get little teenagers to give you clicks. It shouldn't all be about this. Some of us take that old school. You want to go, I'm not going to spar because I'm out of shape. And yeah, you might look okay if I play nice with you. I'm not going to play nice. We could do it closed doors, no holds barred, bare knuckle. I will take you down, headbutt and elbow you until the hospital. That's how it will go. Some of us take this shit pretty seriously. So stay in your lane and give credit where credit's due. And don't act like you're the authority on styles you've never even seen or trained in. Bad-mouthing other people that have dedicated their entire lives. When you're a shitty kickboxer that's trained all, 5 years? When you're a fucking Kempo black belt that hasn't ever fought fucking anything. You never put it on the line. You're crossing the line when you teach people to do this, where bam would fucking knock you the fuck out. You will never pull that off 2 or 3 times in a fight or sparring through the day on a pro. And if you actually were the expert you claim to be, you would know that. If you actually were an authority, you would know that. And you wouldn't teach us disingenuous bullshit to make money. to make kids think that you're some authority. You are not. I'm not the best black belt in the world, but I am a black belt. I've rolled, even when I'm fucking sick and dying, and my kidney I think's about to go, I still in this past year have rolled with a pretty famous jiu-jitsu guy and other jiu-jitsu black belts that own their own schools, one that fought in the UFC. I do okay. Not the best, no, but I've done okay, as the medals show, as most of my submission victories in MMA and in advanced and absolute tournaments, heavyweight tournaments, show. So guys, please learn how to spot fake experts. And if someone's going to be wearing body armor and selling flashlights and talking about guns, and they haven't even shot a gun in 3 years, they're not an expert. They're panhandling shit to make money. You want to learn the right stuff? Look at my channel and World Champions. But I show a lot of stuff that will save your butt for real. Please subscribe, thumbs up. Maybe I should do a Patreon or subscribe card. Would you guys be